cool. Pressing questions.
None too much. I'm still working on certain aspects of it.
Okay.
I was wondering, do I need to render the features on the top and the bottom if they're not going to be shown in the photo?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, you only need to build what's visible here.
So then I started this, which is my theoretical redesign.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. What do you?
This is what I was thinking, like,
Oh, that's right, a
candle,
mug.
a
Okay.
coffee,
Yeah.
travel coffee mug.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if I'm super happy with it yet. Part of me thinks it needs to get cut in half because I feel like it's too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is what I have in two shots.
Oh, that's looking great.
But technically, the fabric, I can't find a cross fabric that comes at an angle so far. But
You could rotate the angle in Photoshop, but if I'm looking at this image and what you have there, I think it's okay. I think this is an illusion. It's like diagonal aspect of it. I think you're all right. I would try and get. That's looking pretty good.
the problem is every time I render it, something's off and I can't figure it out yet. But it's okay. I'm still working on it.
Yeah. So honestly, like, do you think this little point there?
Yeah, I've been working on trying to get rid of it in
SolidWorks. Let's see if we can get it here. How did you build this? So there might be a very simple way to get rid of it. Let's see if we can figure that out. Or I don't know, or would you prefer I not invest time in that?
No, that's okay. That's good.
Okay.
It's the little things that start to evade me.
So you know what? I see this now. So you got a chamfer there. What happens if you just simply select this as a chamfer too? Oh, okay, it's fine. There you go, just do that.
Oh, perfect.
Let's see now how it rebuilds, and I can talk and let you know exactly what it is that I did. Let's see, does this chamfer rebuilds? That looks a bit funny, but you might be able to just simply throw a fillet on here. I would. Oh, do you? Okay, maybe you do this already. Do you cut and mirror it at some point? Okay. You know, in theory, this would be better built in half because you don't have to do all these things twice. I'm probably going to take off some points for that. It's up to you whether it's worth it to go back and change that or not.
I'd have to go back and watch your video. I'm not sure I have a full understanding of that.
Simply, one simple way you could do it would be, let's see, before you start applying fillets and stuff, here you could simply go right plane, surfaces, and say cut with surface. Blow away the left side. And now here all of your fillets and stuff, in theory there's less to select, but mainly it's for this top portion here.
Okay.
Because now when you get this chamfer, simply here when you fillet this out, you only have to worry about it once. I mean, I'll be honest, it's kind of nitpicky, but it's all in the name of giving you best habits and best practices.
That's fair.
This is a bit wonky, but hopefully it doesn't come through in the render. You should be able to let, like, most of this should rebuild, and you simply just at the very end say take the right plane and say mirror, and then just select the bodies one at a time. I just feel it's my due diligence is checking this to let you know where you might lose points. It's your decision whether it's worth it or not. You may not care, and honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it may not. I mean, you should know high grade right now it's going to be a fraction of a point. Adds up, but you can determine whether it's worth that effort to make up. But basically, you can just do what I did, and again, hopefully this records.
Okay.
So I think by the main thing that we started down this path is that in this chamfer command, if you simply just in these faces here, just select. Originally, you didn't have this face selected, so it only chamfers there. If you simply just here add this face to the pink, it just turns it, and that will get rid of that point in your render. Yeah, the texture you might just play in Keyshot with it, making it a bit smaller. I don't know. But it also looks all right. I don't know. It's your judgment.
Okay.
I guess I'm picking up on you saying some of the things looked a bit off, and I guess that's what I'm picking up on.
Yeah, and the other thing is like, this is like a silicone material.
Okay.
Um, but when I use the silicone materials that we have in here, I don't think it
Sure.
doesn't look right. This is right now a paint material, and it doesn't. This is too shiny.
Okay.
So then I have changed it to plastic, but
So
it still comes out again like it's because the silicone is like a matty looking.
So here's what I would recommend. Click on materials here and expand plastic, and then select rough plastic or click soft, and use that kind of plastic.
Okay.
So maybe like soft blue or anything, because you can change the color, yeah, and drag that over. And this even applies like almost like a fuzziness to it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little bit
No,
to
it's
calculate
fine.
through, but do you see how it has this like soft gradient from left to right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one option. I would select that. Or if that doesn't work for you, you can also do hard plastic. And once again, hard rough. And if you drag that over, this calculates a bit faster and renders a bit faster if you go to material, or if you double click on this now, sorry.
My computer's a little slow. I have keyshot A.
Okay, no worries.
And other.
By sliding this roughness bar, no, not refractive. Yeah, this one, if you slide that all the way to the right, that's gonna make it like Superman.
Okay.
And if you slide it all the way, it's also gonna make it Superman.
Okay.
If you change the specular from white to like a light blue, it's also gonna make it feel more matte than.
Okay.
This is like the highlight color. So like if I would try, yeah.
I'll just let me put my color on.
So those are the two things. I would recommend soft before this, but between those two, you should be able to get it pretty close.
The other question I had is, so these dimensions for the buttons are off of my actual item.
Okay, that's
good.
good.
When I compare it to this photo, they look smaller or thinner.
Yeah, I would maybe then go by the photo.
Okay.
And like if I look at these two right now, like your plus looks a little too high.
Yeah, I just noticed that when I was looking at it. I also noticed it's too wide. It looks like it's touching the edges, and it doesn't. It shouldn't touch the edges.
Yeah. Do you have this photo in here?
I thought I did, yeah. Oh no, you know what the photo is? No, the photo is on the top view.
Okay.
That's how I started.
I would get this photo in there and just literally trace this.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
And that'll get you plus. Master looks good. Yeah. Any other questions? You have the last question time or something.
I felt pretty good about it this weekend. I worked a lot to get it pretty close.
Okay. I think you're in good shape. Looking at your coffee mug and addressing your thing, I might just say maybe the handle doesn't go all the way down. Maybe look at it just stopping it higher up, and maybe just put some generous fillets on the inside so it looks soft.
Mm-hmm. I also thought about cutting it in half, so it's only like a half handle.
Like the handle you did on the toaster.
Yeah. So that like it has the illusion of a whole line, but
cool.
You know. Okay.
If you do the half handle, please just terminate the handle better. Your toaster is great, but like just put giant fillets on this.
Okay, I will. Cool.
All right, nice work.
Do you want to skip? I showed you.
Oh, I haven't been asking this.
I like went and did a couple other ideas, and then this is what the original was.
Okay, that's cool. You're good. All right, who's next? I saw Max Wang first. Okay, so if you want me to download what you have now, I'm happy to do that. It's just going to cut into your time. What do you prefer? That works too. That's okay. It just, well, it's all right. I won't touch it. Unfortunately, well, the video can have us listen to us talk. Oh yeah, let me address. You're absolutely right. I apologize. I told you to do the cut, and you're absolutely right that it should be the extrusion because the cut varies in thickness. The extrusion doesn't.
I happened to be talking to my mentor the same day.
Okay.
And then he was walking me through it.
Okay, good.
And I was like, and he's like, oh, I thought of something. The grill like is actually the same size, and then you don't have to worry about the non-concentric circles. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'll just do that.
Perfect. Good.
I just
Glad that worked
did
out.
it manually by hand, obviously, because they're still not perfect, but
It looks good. Oh, it looks good.
so I realized after I turned this in that I missed every single split line on the whole thing.
Oh.
So I've gone back, and this is now me splitting and combining every single face to create the lids and split lines.
Okay. That's okay. I think I see what you're saying.
Since there's in the original image, I realized well, this is the one I'm copying, but you can still start. You can see like
Oh
split
yeah,
line.
yep. So
There's a split line there.
where you're doing that then?
Okay. So I went and
I don't understand why you're doing combined though. That's what's confusing me.
oh, I have to make. I split it. So I made an inside and then
Oh,
outside.
I think I
So I
understand.
made a shell and then I used the shell. I copied the shell and I cut the original from the shell. So the original now is the shell
I
minus.
understand.
Yes, yeah.
So you copy the body, you shell it, you do a combined subtraction to get the one smaller.
Yeah. And I keep a copy of the shell to keep the same
Yep.
functionality.
That's cool. That's a good workaround.
And then I cut with planes and lines I drew myself.
Yeah.
And then the combination two now is also that's weird. Oh, see, I'm running into the
Inner body.
inner body. Okay. I think I'm gonna end up just cutting the inner body right here.
Yep.
And
That's
just
fine.
leaving just like a little bit of the inner body.
Yeah, for the underneath of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Since from the top it looks like this, but I don't need this.
No, you don't.
So and this little bit, there's a hole there.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna cut this here.
That's fine. Yep, that's okay.
So yeah, right now all the combination is me then recombining the halves
Back together.
to create this shape that doesn't have a split down the middle.
Is there a split down the middle in the actual file?
So
No, in the like render you're copying.
no, there's not. So it would the split line is here, but then it goes around the button.
Oh, there is a part line down the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow, you can't see it.
So I can make
For what it's worth, just the way you orient this, if you did these splits first before you did that split, it would prevent you from having to combine that. If I'm being picky, but you know what? It's fine. I won't punish you for that because you're getting into savant stuff, I guess. And as long as it's
I feel like a dome. I think I use a dome for this, but
that's
it's not
okay.
really working perfectly well. It's not like completely.
I understand. Yeah. Let's look at it here.
Pinching is the issue I have having with domes.
Yeah, domes are not perfect.
It's slightly better on that one since but I think on this because multiple splits and multiple combinations, it's less perfect. On that one, it seems to be working a lot well.
Yeah. So here's this one. You did the dome right because you want a dome on a body that's like this, where it's exactly this is the edge. If you have a split line, it keeps the dome more gentle. So how did you do? Can we roll back to where you did the dome on this one? Because if you did it on a split line, it's going to make it soft like it is on this one currently. So do me a favor, right click on this button and go to isolate. Okay. And now edit the dome feature. Weird. Right click on this and say clear selection. Yeah.
So it it's like pinching in an odd way. It's because I filled it first, but I filled it second.
So if you want, do you want to spend time on this? I can show you how to make this beautiful.
Are you gonna use surfaces?
Yeah, surfacing. Now, if you don't want to spend time on it, honestly, the dome's probably fine. I don't think it's going to kill your. It looks better here for some reason. I don't know why.
It's pinching. Before it didn't pinch, and now it's pinching. I can't really.
The only difference that I can perceive is that this one is longer and this one is shorter. So if you simply just, well, you could go to move face here.
I use move face to make it.
So just make it way longer and see if that fixes it. But I'll be honest, I don't know if.
Oh, now I don't broke. So.
What is this here?
did not seem to. Is it better? It's slightly better.
It's slightly better. Let's see if there's a quick fix here. Again, let me know if this is where you want to spend your time. You have 2 minutes left.
Oh,
I mean, I'm happy to. I want you to be aware of.
Okay, can we move on?
Yeah, we can move on.
Alright, I'm gonna open P3 for just a second.
I'm going to just talk about it while you do that. You could try to create a sketch on the center plane that's an arc here. And in the dome, see it. I'm not sure if this will work, but you can try and select it for this one of these here, and it might guide it. But honestly, it's fine. It should still look good.
Like test. And so that was what I had originally without all the splits.
Okay.
That's the original.
Yeah.
Is that not close?
Oh, in the setup?
Yeah. Is it not like is the I couldn't get
It looks close to me.
Is that close enough for the class for the project?
Here, hide it again. Show it again.
It's like slightly taller.
It feels slightly taller. You can go to camera here. Have you played with field of
I max out perspective, so when I shrink it, it goes even wonkier. It becomes like
okay.
It becomes like completely not right.
Yeah, it looks like we see more in the view.
I don't know why we're able to see like such an like almost isometric, but also not. I don't know how to explain this view, but it's like weirdly isometric.
I mean, some of the stuff you can do is just like literally cut the top if it's looking tall. Just like change your master sketch and make it a ½ inch shorter. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You're playing with the camera focal length. You might be able to play with field of view. I don't know. I've never tried match perspective, but
Oh, I have. It doesn't work that well.
okay.
So what happens is they give you 3 lines, and then you
Oh, I see. Okay.
go match it up like this one.
Gotcha.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it won't.
Honestly, short answer is you're pretty close. I wouldn't stress too much about it. I think my short answer to you, with the time being up, is you could in SolidWorks just cut it down a smidge. Honestly, you're pretty damn close though. The more that I see you moving this around.
I might just go. I mean, it would be easy for me to do so since I know my time's up.
You could also just like angle it ever so slightly towards us.
But then there's more of the top is showing.
Yeah, but tweak it. Go back to key shot right here. That's right. And go to camera. And one of these, right? Inclination and twist, like change it. Don't even slide it that way. Change it by, it was at 9.33 before, or don't save this here. And change it, if it's, change it at like 0.01 degree at a time until you see as much of the top as you want. Does that make sense? That's what I would do. Don't snap it to the ground, just angle it, tweak it towards us. Use whatever trickery you need to, add or smash it in SolidWorks.
I could go into my
Yes. Some combination thereof.
Okay.
Cool. Nice. All right, start your time. Do you have any pressing questions or? Okay. No, we can talk about Keyshot and on your computer then. That's fine.
Because I did like a test run here, and I see that like if you
Yeah.
take that here, it will show up.
Okay.
So I don't know how to fix that.
Okay. So you're saying down here. So firstly, off the bat, I can see in SolidWorks is this file what's there.
Yeah.
I think firstly in SolidWorks you want to combine these two. So you want to take this and hit combine to make it into one body. And hopefully that will get rid of this split line in the middle. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So I would do that. Again, though, with what I just showed, you should be able to, if it's the same file name, make that change and go into Keyshot and say import and say replace geometry, and it should keep the materials. Does that make sense? Now let me pull this up here. um, all right, so let's look at this. I know, don't worry, I'm happy to look at that there. Okay, you did this as a shell, that's okay. What material did you apply to this? Yes. So let's go. Are you have Keyshot open? Let's look at your material options. So I would go to see is there. I might look at glass and actually expand the glass there and select solid glass actually. And is one of these frosted? No. Click on frosted. I would pick this one. I would try that one. And I think that's gonna like if we look here and those shadows that are forming here. I mean, I know your poor computer is asking it to like refract everything, but that's my best advice is to so that line in the middle that's happening because they're not combined. So combining it like I just showed you here in SolidWorks will help. The other thing you could try if you're still having trouble is not shelling this. Let's see how you built this. Yeah, it's just simply suppressing the shell command. And as a complete solid, it might render a little bit darker. But actually, you see how what that's looking like and what this is looking like? Is that answering your question? Is that kind of your goal? Oh, down in here. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, I apologize. I misunderstood you. Well, okay, if we look at how you built this here, this is going the wrong way. You see how this jumps up? So let's roll back through here. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. All right, so you split this on the side. That makes sense. I'm assuming, yeah, that's cool. So this extrusion here, you got to fix this in CAD. So I would edit this. Okay, that's cool. What you have to change here is where in feature scope, selected bodies, it's going to the wrong one. So right click here and set clear selections. I'm sorry, it's covered by my thing here. But in here, you want to select the base because, right, it's part of the base. And then click check. And now it comes up. And now in this view, same, let's see, where did you make this sketch? It's on, is it on a face? You could simply select this face again and hit Alt S. Select a sketch and say convert entities. But you know what? You actually want it to be a bit bigger because there's a gap in here. So I'm going to set this to for construction. And I'm going to say offset and maybe like 0.01, maybe a bit bigger, 0.02. Click check. Now here I'm simply going to say extrude cut. And here say like through all. And select this. And now there's that gap in there, which is going to match this. So basically you just got to get your details. And then obviously this should not be the same here. Cool, does that make sense? So you just, I think you just had the wrong body combined with this, and you just need to make those changes. Again, it's recorded, so hopefully you can go back and refer. You still have 2 minutes. What other questions do you have? Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if I should change it because it looks much smoother in the.
Okay, agreed.
And this one kind of looks like actually.
So the top part, I'm okay with this. I mean, if you want to make it smoother, it's simply just, you should be able to just blow this out. It's okay to just have it go like way big. And have the fillet come up. So that's up to you. You can change that if you want. My honest answer is I think you're pretty close. The one that I think you want to blow out is this one, like, cause like this thickness here, like you see how this comes almost to a point. So I would definitely edit this fillet, and I would make this one bigger. I'd make this one like, I'd probably do that. That looks more real to me. Also, this looks more forward. So you can simply take, I don't know how, where you built this, but you can simply use this tool, select this, and just slide it forward a bit. And just make sure you don't check copy because you don't want the, right? If we look at this, you see how forward that is? So I would definitely use the move body command and just slide that forward. I don't mind that you built it back. I think that's okay. It makes, you could argue it makes sense for the like file. I mean, I'm assuming you're doing this view, right?
Yeah.
So I would definitely, I would slide that forward. You could, if you really want to, like take this and just, never mind. I was gonna say you could like rotate it about the z-axis, and it'll make, because it looks to me like ever so slightly it's leaning up and this is down, but I could be wrong. But the way that you would do that is you go to the z-axis here, and maybe just even if just like half a degree. Make sure you're going in the right direction, though. I think it's negative half a degree. Again, make sure copy is not checked, and it's going to make it look like it's rotated up and the next down a bit. Any other questions? That's all? Okay. Cool. It's looking good. Where are you going to go with it?
I was thinking maybe like or
Okay. Figure that out sooner than later. Make some sketches. Cool. Matthew. And I can refer back to this. All right. Go ahead.
Alright, so I mean, yeah, I'm not. The only thing I still haven't done is just bodies.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. Oh, and it's still
Yeah.
that's pretty much
That's easy.
it. Yeah. Everything else. Oh, and this. I did this before, but
You're welcome to do that in Keyshot. I give you, permission to, if that's what you prefer.
that might be better because I don't know when I did it on this, it just got slow.
Okay. So the way that I would do it in Keyshot though is you're going to want a body behind it. So right click on this and hit and just click on the eyeball just so we hide it. Oh, it's all connected. That's fine. So show it again. I'm sorry, or you can Control Z might show it. Yeah. So what I would simply do is on the front plane or whatever, I would just revolve a cylinder. It's just a bit smaller than this in here as a separate body. Don't combine it. And when you bring it into Keyshot, it'll have that body in there. So when you apply the mesh to this face here, um, there will be something behind it. Because if you don't do that, the mesh will just look like it goes up there. It'll make it look like it just goes all the way through. Does that make sense? You want me to?
A little bit. It's fine.
I mean, I can show you on my screen here. I'm trying to avoid touching people's computers because I'm sick. I would just simply rotate a dummy body like this and just go to features and just revolve and just uncheck merge results. And so just imagine that in Keyshot, you're changing the transparency of this. Yeah, and so now you see that that body is right behind it. That's all I'm having you do.
Like show. Well, because like if I put it on that, like once it
I'm saying, so if you don't do this revolve that I did, then all of this dark in this image here, it's just going to be white. By doing this, this blue surface here becomes these dark aspects behind this mesh. Depending on how much smaller you make this, like if right now if we look at it, yeah, you would see white here. So like if you don't want to see any white, I would, yeah, I'm getting lost in my own file here. I would, oh shoot, not edit feature, edit sketch. You know what I'm saying? I would take the sketch and just drag it. Edit sketch. Just drag this higher up if you don't want to see as much white. Does that make sense? It makes me a little nervous though that you have this all as one body in SolidWorks. At the very least, at the very end, you don't have to rebuild anything, but just drop a couple, like split it with a couple, so if we look at this right now, you have one solid body. I guess you have two in this one at least. But all of this being one solid body, what I would do at the very end, so let's hide this one I just created. I would create a sketch, like this is a part line here. I would create a sketch that aligns with either of these, doesn't matter which. It's like drop it there. And simply just go features and say split. And select like this thing. And then the way that you get this through here, obviously I know you have it fixed in the new one. From this view, you can simply just, if you get an arc that's like offset of this, same thing, you can hit split and get it on this here. And that will give you that, it'll give you this part line here. But obviously that split should be an offset of this. I'm just roughing it in. But that will also help for material application. I would also probably put a split around here for the pink. So you can simply split it from this vantage. You can split it along here. Yeah, and then fill at the edge so it reads. But yeah, for sure on that one. And then when you extrude the buttons, make sure merge body is not checked or merge result is unchecked. Cool. Yeah.
How do I get this like ring kind of effect?
Yeah.
It's like an hourglass.
Oh.
Dark and that's light.
Do you have Keyshot open or no? There might be spun metal. That would be the material.
Okay. Because I tried making that. Like
You can also, here, check. You could probably do this too. Yeah. You could totally come here, grab this, and apply it as a texture.
that's what that is, right?
Yeah, that's what that is. You might also be able to play with it with lighting, highlights and stuff. Apparently doesn't exist. Okay. I mean, if you expand the metal here, expand this one. Go to maybe aluminum. I don't know, any brush metal might give it to you. Texture, yeah. And look, or one of these say brush. There you go, brush 90 degrees. That one might give it to you. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that
Or yeah, this works. I like, yeah, you can do that. What's going to be hard with this one though is matching this to whatever texture you have. So you might want to do, it might sound crazy, but you might want to take this and in Photoshop, leave the shadow, like find one that's an hourglass. So here, this one's like an hourglass, and see if you can erase the white. So it's just the shadows. You might be able to do that in Photoshop with selecting a color range and hitting delete. And then that way the true color of whatever your render is will come through. I'm just worried that if you pick it whatever the image here may not match the material here. Does that make sense? The other way to do it is literally to just like try and do it with highlights. Like try and get a light there and a light there, but obviously it may affect other stuff. That's the only danger.
Right, okay. For this too, I saw there's like this, but I use this. I guess I'm gonna work.
If it works, if it looks good, but it's not a hexagon.
Yeah, circles. That's what this is.
No, look at those carefully. Those are hexagons. You see that? I leave it up to you. I mean,
I don't know. I thought that. I mean,
if it looks close, that's fine.
what was this one? Hexagon.
Use that one. Use that one.
Is it like? Because I thought I don't know. Like, this just looks long.
You might,
Is it harder?
you might be able to scale it. You can totally scale it in Keyshot.
And then it would just kind of be done the same way. Like create like a back body, so it's like all the way
Yep.
through, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Now here, this is a metal, so you may not want this metallic. When you apply this, here, create a body real quick. Just go to edit, add geometry, cube, or it doesn't, yeah, some other, that's fine. That's fine, just leave it. Okay, that's cool. And then now just drag that here. And then now double click on it. Oh, so this is the dots. Is that the, oh no, that's the head. Oh, it is, okay. So, never mind. Yeah, I mean, you can play with, yes, scale mesh. Yeah. Here, click in here and just select it all and type 1.
I know it's
And maybe hit Control Z. There it is. Okay, there you go. So, okay, double click on it again. It's loading, I think. Alright, sorry, man. If you want after class, I'll come back to it. But anyway, you were in the right place. I mean, edit material, you can play with the size. What I was hoping is that it would pull up a. Your computer's just not loading. It's because there's a lot going on. Let it load. I'll come to you after class. All right. Overall, your CAD models are looking pretty good. Some of you are in better shape than others. I mean, I already kind of gave you all my spiel at the start of class about project 3 and just making sure you're on track. I would definitely make sure you have your render done by Wednesday. Then think about that gives you about, Wednesday night, Thursday night to rebuild your model. That's not a lot of time. Maybe give yourself Friday night too. That's 3 days of, I don't know. I mean, I realize you have a lot going on. You probably don't want to work Friday night, but try and get your model rebuilt by the weekend so that you have the weekend to put your PDF together. Okay. I mean, you all know your own time and time management, but just keep in mind it's hefty. Keep track of everything. Let me pause this and just quickly start this. So if you're happy with that, I'm happy to do that. Just one thing I want to emphasize here as you start to work on your renders, okay? I just want to remind you all of 2 things. For your backplate image, strongly recommend that you set the backplate image under environment to actually be the render that you're trying to copy, okay? So again, you go to environment, backplate image, go in here and yeah, I believe this is it. Select this. and set it. That way you can align your view, okay? So don't forget about that trick. You can also then, if you have a colored background like this, simply click in here, get the color selector, and simply copy it from, well, from the backplate image, hopefully. Okay, it's not letting me do that. But anyway, advice to get that in there. Next advice would be, as you are setting up your image, once you have your camera set up, definitely hit that, add new camera. Once you get it matched to that image in your backplate, hit the lock so you don't actually accidentally move it. The one last thing I just want to emphasize is now that you have your backplate image to refer to, please don't forget about HDRI editor and adding highlights here to match the exact highlights in your image. So for example, if all of these are turned off, remember that you can click on add pin and control plus left mouse button click to get a highlight. If I want to highlight on that edge, I can click there. I can kind of move it, and then I can use my settings here to like blow it out if I need that highlight to be greater or less. And just remember that that tool exists. That's going to be the quickest way, I think, to match the lighting of the render you're trying to match. Cool? If you're like Juan and you have your image here, has this like orange light here, I believe in these pins you can just double click this color, and I believe you could just like set it to orange if you wanted that to match. Cool? If you have any absolute problems, we can address them on Wednesday. But other than that, you're free to go. The homework for Wednesday, again, it's not official. It's just to continue working on this. I canceled the homework of reworking the model. And the goal is to just get this done for a week from today. You're free to go if you have any questions.